It doesn't get much better than the Toronto Argonauts taking on the Hamilton Tiger Cats on a Friday night. Toronto looking to start the season 5-0 for the first time since 1960, but the Tiger Cats have won 5 of their last 7 meetings with Toronto at Tim Hortons Field. It's the Argos and Ticats coming up. As the starting quarterback of the Toronto Argonauts, coming off his first ever 300-plus yard passing game, Chad Kelly looks to keep the good times rolling with his Argos. On the flip side, 2 for 4, 47 yards, 1 touchdown. Pretty much all the stats we have so far on Taylor Powell, unless we go through all his college stats, which of course Paul LaPolice has been studying this entire week along with his film. But what can he do as the 3rd starting quarterback for the Hamilton Tiger Cats so far this season? We are about to find out. Kate Burness, David Sanchez, Paul LaPolice, Milt Stiegel. As we get set for Friday Night Football, the player we are watching tonight, David Sanchez.
My player is a coach, and Corey Mace. We talked about Ottawa's offense. We talked about the Powell being a statue back there. I think how you described it. He's not a moving guy. So I want to see how Corey Mace lines up early and takes away his first look. The ball got to get out quick. I want to see what they do and how they line up, move around to take away his first looks. Yeah, you know, I'm going to cheat and take the Hamilton offensive line because, as you talked about the stats, Powell rushed for minus 192 yards in college, so he's not going to scramble guys. So can they build quick throws for him, just like you're talking about, Davis? Can they hold up against the best run defense in the CFL? They need to do a good job and help this young quarterback. Yeah, Corey Mace has done a great job, defensive coordinator, in my opinion, on his way to being the head coach. Absolutely. And one of the young players, maybe one of the youngest players in the CFL, Quatez Stingers, the cornerback who didn't even go to college. 21 years old. He's basically a few years removed from high school, and he's balling out. First 4 games in the CFL career, 2 interceptions. He's taken full advantage of his opportunities and maybe on his way to being one of the top cornerbacks in the CFL. Wow. You know what? I'm looking at these 2 running backs for the Toronto Argonauts and what they can do once again. We have 45 seconds, so I'll do my own. Why not? But honestly, for Andrew Harris, too, he's only 48 rushing yards away from 5th all-time tying Charles Roberts. But with A.J. Ouellette and the way he's been running the ball so far this season, it's going to be fascinating to see how Hamilton's defense counters this. That's a task. For certain. That's a task. Yeah, and the first time they played, they used the 2 tailback system very, very much to their advantage. So and then Chad Kelly, you know, he can run it also. He has 3 rushing touchdowns the first time they met in week 2. Yeah, exactly. You know what else? We talked about that secondary. Maurice Carnell for the Argos is not even playing, and he might be their best cover guy. This secondary is good. Yeah. All right, either way, should be a great one. It is Friday Night Football. Argos, Tiger Cats from Tim Hortons Field. We got Rod Smith. We got Matt Dunnigan coming up right after this.
Thank you, Kate. Beautiful Friday night in Hamilton with the Ticats back home after a win in Edmonton last week, and the Argos here for the first time since last Labor Day when they won the season series and went on to win a championship, as if the Ticats don't have enough reasons to want to beat that dreaded rival from down the road. Here come the Argos, Matty, at 4-0, led by quarterback Chad Kelly, coming off his best start last week in Montreal. Yeah, and Chad continues to play football like he's been here for a long, long time. And you got to have a quarterback. He carries that right arm around like it's just ordinary, but it's a howitzer, and he can make every throw on a football field, and he's been doing that for the last 4 games. 4-1 as a starter, making his 6th start tonight. There, guy making his 1st start tonight, Taylor Powell. We don't know much about this kid. That's the first time I've ever seen a 0 on the back of a quarterback's jersey before. They're hoping that he's number 1 and a guy that can take him to the promised land and figure it out for the Hamilton Tiger Cats and stay healthy as a quarterback. And if you talk to Tommy Condell, Rod, I can tell you, he'll tell you that he's going to be here for a while. Orlando Steinauer and Ryan Dinwiddie, the head coaches in this one, and the Argos, and you heard all about it, first 4-0 start since 1983, and Dinwiddie coming off winning a Grey Cup as a head coach in just his 2nd year. The flyby Tim Hortons Field. The Argos won the toss, and they want the ball to get things started. These two teams met in week 2. That was the Argos season opener, and Toronto won it 32-14 at BMO Field. Mark Legia kicks it off. Javon Leake was back to get it, but it was shorter, and Adarius Pickett takes it. And once again, the Argos, who have enjoyed the best starting field position in the CFL, are up across the 40 to get this one going for Chad Kelly.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Rod. We'll be talking about that throughout the evening because it's a fact. Great field position. I don't care if you're a veteran or a young guy like Chad Kelly, making his 6th career start. Perfect on this season. Started at his own 44-yard line. I'll take that all day, and so will Chad.
Kelly winning 4 straight starts. The first Argo to do that since Zach Collaros back in 2013. Handing off to Andrew Harris, who has nothing. Chris Edwards, the former Argo, and Casey Sales in to stop Harris for no gain.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter. Establish the line of scrimmage. Hamilton knows that. Sirocco starts with him at center. Castro is a couple of dinos there playing next to each other. Absolutely phenomenal up front. Coxie and Ouellette speak for themselves. One on the ground and one through the air. Those guys can make it happen for the Argos.
Ouellette, the running back now, stays in. Trickles out. Kelly releases a deep ball for Dejon Brissett, who hangs on to the football. Brissett, a beautiful catch, reaching up, bringing it down with one hand as they quickly want to get it up over the ball here inside the 20.
Yeah, pressure in his face, and he steps, he tries to climb the pocket, he stands tall, and then he shows you that howitzer of an arm, and he just flicks it out there, almost overthrows Brissett, and Brissett comes up with the circus catch, little one-hander right there, 10th of the season, longest of his season so far.
So from the 17, and that one is complete to Tavares Daniels, a shorter one. But how about that start for Dinwiddie's offense, courtesy Kelly, and this catch by Brissett.
Yeah, just take a look at this, admire it, and oh my goodness, that's a thing of beauty. Dejon showing you that he can go deep too, and add him to the list of playmakers for the young quarterback. Knocking at the door already where they own the red zone this year.
That was a gain of 49. The one to Daniels, gain 7. A 2nd and 3. Toronto in business quickly at the Ticat 10 to A.J. Ouellette on the 2nd and 3. Breaks one tackle, gets a first down, head down inside the 5, and a 1st and goal is coming up for the Double Blue.
Yeah, and he pressed the hole and he bounced it. He had to because it was good initial penetration by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And watch him going to his right. He presses the hole there. Then he's got to get outside, and then he just buries his shoulder and gets some yak because Rod, he's got a lot of that this year.
Back to Ouellette. 3, 2, 1, and no further as Stavros Katsantonis, the starting safety, does get Ouellette down. Never an easy task, so a 2nd and goal coming up here for the Argos at the Ticats 1.
Yeah, one of the most punishing backs we've seen in a while in the Canadian Football League, and they feed him the rock often, and why not? He's hungry, and he smells the goal line here. He takes on Katanis, Elliott, and the rest of the Hamilton Ticat defense, gets him to the 1-yard line. He's probably thinking, give it to me one more time.
Chad Kelly and A.J. Ouellette lead the CFL in rushing touchdowns. They have 4 each. Here we go. 2nd and goal at the Ticat 1. Kelly keeping it. Does he break the plane? Awaiting the signal as a flag comes out. And still no signal on a touchdown now as they await word on this penalty.
Either way, it's 1st and goal on the 1.
Ryan Dinwiddie obviously thinking it's against the Ticats.
Yeah, he's calling it for us. I love that.
The major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton, number 6. It's going to be 1st down for Toronto.
Some late carting.
Jameer Thurman there in the center of the screen, Matt.
Yep. And I'm not sure what he's guilty of. Maybe a little something to the face.
Little push afterwards on Kelly.
Trying to send a message, the wrong one.
So
grinding on his face a little bit there, Rod. Got caught doing it.
There's also on the play a 10-yard misconduct penalty against Hamilton, number 21.
Yeah,
it's still 1st down for Toronto.
Well, as Ryan Dinwiddie said, either way, first and goal for the Argos. It is, and Cameron Dukes, the backup quarterback, is now in on short yardage on this first and goal play with Chad Kelly heading off to the sideline.
Well, we saw this in last night's ball game. Dakota Prukup had a couple of problems coming in late. He's got to reach and ride and stay with that center, stay engaged.
So Dukes keeps it, and he does break the plane, and a touchdown for the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, that's the way to do that. You can't let separation come between you and the center, and he's firing out a little bit differently than normal, kind of trying to get low, stepping really hard. Watch the hands here underneath the center. You got to reach and ride him, and you got to go with them. Can't get left behind, or else you take some shots. It's a nice job getting the end zone there all the way around by that offensive line, and Dukes.
First touchdown of the CFL for Cameron Dukes, the rookie out of Lindsey Wilson College in Kentucky, coming on for Kelly and finishing off an impressive and quick opening drive for a team that's off to a 4-0 start.
Exemplifying everything that they've been doing well, Rod. Controlling the line of scrimmage, pounding the football, and big play capability with a strong arm. Kelly.
Boris Beatty in for the point after. 17 for 17 in that department. Kicked a bunch of them with John Haggerty putting it down and splits those uprights to make it a 7-point lead after a 7-play drive. 66 yards in 3.5 minutes for the Argos.
Start with a bang, Rod. Throw it deep. Get that bazooka out. Ready?
Dejan Brissett. And finished off there by Dukes. Argos up a touchdown. A quick drive for the Toronto Argonauts here in Hamilton with this big play from Chad Kelly to Dejan Brissett.
Flick of the wrist. Dejan Brissett making it look easy. Bounce it to the outside. Dip his shoulder. Run somebody over. That's his blueprint, and then Dukes getting his first of his Canadian Football League young career, and that's a great start by the Toronto Argonauts on the road against their rivals.
I got you next time.
The touchdown for Cameron Dukes coming on the second short yardage play after Chad Kelly left it. And so the kickoff coming, and the deep returners there are Lawrence Woods and Tyreek McAllister. It's into Woods' hands inside the 10. Brandon Calver got it started getting him wrapped, and the Argos finish that off as he gets it up to the 25. So here he comes. Taylor Powell, 2 for 4 off the bench last week in Edmonton. First CFL pass was a touchdown to Tim White.
Yeah, and I don't care how many interviews you have, Rod, leading up to this football game and how confident you sound. Running out there in that first huddle, your first start in the Canadian Football League as a pro, that's a heck of a feeling, and you got the butterflies going and juice flowing. That's a good thing. Just got to channel it and see what this kid's about.
He is the third quarterback this season to make his first ever CFL start. Daggy in Edmonton, and last week Dustin Crum, and that pass is complete. Duke Williams, who didn't have a catch last week back in Edmonton, has one right there off the bat in a first down.
And I'd be going to him all the time, and I know that he'd be begging for it. He left tackle Riley really solidifying that offensive line. It's so important the quarterback's offside. And then Butler, yeah, we talk about this guy for a reason. He's as good as they come, and he can do it all, run it and catch it. And Duke showing you that, hey, he's a playmaker. He's a big target. I think a security blanket for any young quarterback.
James Butler's the running back. Had a good week last week in Edmonton. Has the ball now, left side. Cuts it back, and Jared Brinkman getting the start back at tackle inside for the Argos, takes him down.
And he's right there, and he plays the run beautifully. He's got somebody lined up right on him, and he gets off him, sheds the block, and makes his first tackle of the evening in the first run. And Brinkman, like you said, Rod, in for Oakman, who goes to the one game. Jonathan Jones, in the middle second-year player from Toledo, playing for Jordan Williams. And on the back end, you got Robertson. Daniel had 3 picks on the season, 3 of them against the BC Lions.
No gain, Butler, 2nd and 10 at the Hamilton 37. Powell settling in, taking off, gets rid of it, and he completes it to Williams again. 2 for 2, both to Williams, and 2 first downs in the process as the Ticats get closer to midfield.
Yeah, eyes downfield, never look to run the football, just buying himself some time, watch him step up in here. This is a drill you do all the time. The quarterback get there. Eyes downfield, there's Duke saying, hey, I'm here. Blanket, hello. Got to make up for last week. Ofer slides with them. Relatively easy catch. Moving the sticks. Duke Williams, South Louisiana product. We'll have more on him in a little bit.
From the 52, 1st and 10. Shorter pass there to Butler. James Butler. And as mentioned, he had a productive game last week in Edmonton. His best one as a Ticat with 167 total yards.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Bounced around a little bit, and, you know, that's not a bad thing. You get used to going in and out of locker rooms, learning playbooks, picking up languages, being coachable, and that's all the things that offensive coordinator Tommy Condell talks about Taylor and how receptive he is to coaching. You better be moving around that much.
In the Argo zone and right side, nowhere to go as Brinkman is back in again for a loss this time for Butler.
Yeah, and a middle linebacker too right there. Jonathan Jones. I like the way he plays football. You got help from the inside. You got help from the middle. Watch the linebacker number 30 right here. Watch him move. Get there. Oh, look at that. Want some, get some. Bad enough, take some. Heard me say that a few times, huh, Rod?
Many times, Matty, many times.
Brinkman says, I got that all day.
So we got a 3rd down coming up now, and it is Bailey Flint, the rookie punter. One of the many Australian punters in the Canadian Football League. 6 out of the 9 teams have one.
What?
Yeah, 6 out of 9. Of course, the global initiative has helped in that department. Opportunities for Australian punters.
And they can pound the ball.
Bailey Flint. And standing inside 45, so at least the Ticats with that drive flip the field a bit and try to hem the Argos a little deeper here on the return. A flag comes out for no yards, and Javon Leake has a return to take it up across the 20. So Chad Kelly coming back on. First possession, they go down the field. One big pass, a 50-yarder to get them closer. And the 7-0 lead, Argos, when we come back. Friday Night Football from Hamilton. Chad Kelly with 3 rushing touchdowns for the Argos in their season opener. This was week 2 in their victory over Hamilton.
Yeah, and they had 3 opening drives in the first half, really long ones, 80, 93 yards, and 80. And they did it in a lot of different ways, which they've been doing consistently here early on in the season. And Chad Kelly found the end zone 3 times. Looking to repeat that here. A nice long drive to begin the game with. See if they can't put another one together.
They start fast. They did last week in Montreal, and they did in this game tonight so far. That one's complete to Tavares Daniels. Richard Leonard coming in, knocking him back, but up across the 30 for a 2nd down coming up here for the Argos.
Yeah, a guy I kind of like a lot is Malik Carney, 3rd-year player from Carolina, North Carolina, and he can flat out get him. Simone Lawrence, we talk about Simone often, and justifiably so. The guy is just the epitome of an anchor for that defense. And Stavros Kastanis on the back end, 3rd-year player from University at BC, and I tell you, playing very confident on that back end.
A.J. Ouellette on the toss, right, and taken down near a 1st down, gets up across the 35. Had to get, yes indeed, he does get just enough to move those sticks as the Argos just keep moving here in their 2nd possession.
Yeah, just find ways, create ways. When things are going well, it seems like everything's working for you. Ryan Dinwiddie showing you some imagination, much like we saw last night with Winnipeg and their offense and how they move guys around. Dinwiddie's doing the same thing. Keeping defenses guessing.
Kelly quickly looks off on the hitch. 2 gettings up across the 40 and the gain of just a little under 2 yards. Call it 2 and a 2nd and 8 coming up. But this has been the most explosive offense in the CFL. Look at how they lead in all of these different categories, including points per game.
Yeah, staying on the field too, right? And this one right here, this one gets me right here. Almost 56% 2nd down conversion, staying on the field, moving the sticks. It's just 2nd and long one. Advantage defense. See what happens here.
2nd down. The blitz coming. Kelly steps up, but he can't get away. It's Jameer Thurman coming in and taking him down, and the Argos will have to kick it away.
Yeah, he's coming right here, second level, and he's coming from depth. Got one over the nose, got two defensive ends, and he just beats. He just kind of hangs tight and just keeps his eyes on the quarterback, and he's flushed right to him.
And this is game 5 and just the 5th sack allowed. They had led the league in that department. But a big takedown to swing the momentum for the Ticats as they're getting the ball back here. Down 7 at the 25. Tyreek McAllister. He can be explosive. We saw a sample of that last week in Edmonton. And takes it up across the 35 towards the 40 for the Ticats. Chad Kelly sacked by Jameer Thurman on a Friday night. Taylor Powell 3 for 3 so far. He started his collegiate career at Missouri and then later went to Troy, and he finished up at Eastern Michigan. He had some good numbers, over 2,000 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 8 intercepted. For more on Taylor Powell, let's head down to field level and say hello to Matthew Shinetti.
Well, we're seeing the eye test now, Rod, what he's going to do against the Argos defense, but that mental test, well, maybe it happened in 2019 when Taylor Powell had his first collegiate start unexpectedly against the Georgia Bulldogs. They lost that game 27-0. He only threw 84 yards, but the confidence of the young man maybe emerged that day, because he told me this week it was at that moment that I understood the challenges weren't too big for me. Yes, he's big into motivational speaking, the Daily Stoic and Ryan Holiday, and the quote, belief is overrated, generate evidence. Now I know, Matty, we've been talking about the fact that Powell likes to get away from football when he's not here at Tim Hortons Field, but when he is here, well, Levi Mitchell told me he walks around this facility, he kind of reminds me a little bit myself, Rob.
Wow, that's a good thing, huh? Yeah, a little walking around like a peacock, like he owns the joint. I like it.
I'm sure Mitchell has been of help to this young man. Taylor Powell, Bo Levi Mitchell, injured and out. His parents, Elizabeth and Mark Powell, and I would say perhaps nervously taking it in, yet their son doesn't really exude much nervousness as he gets ready for the start.
I don't see a lot of nervousness right there. You know, just kind of like, oh yeah, here we go again.
Here we go.
Figure out this game. Kid's done it before, he'll do it again.
Well, that's the impression their son left when we talked to him a couple of days ago.
Love it.
Very confident in this situation. Mentioned 3 for 3 so far. They have the ball back at their 37. And he completes another, and it's another one to Duke Williams.
A little short. He's going to have to punt this
a little bit short, though.
Nothing wrong with checking it down there. Live to play another play.
Not quite enough. So off the field goes Taylor Powell in that offense.
You know, just what I see right now is a check down. They're bringing more than they have, and he's got to check it down. He gets it to the right guy. Duke just can't make Mechie miss, and they're forced to punt, but he's seeing the field really well.
200th career CFL catch for Duke Williams there. Not enough for the first down. Javon Lake is back to receive this punt by Bailey Flint. Leak trying to get around the right side. Turns the corner up across the 30. Leak still going. Good return. Argos up to the 45. And another good place to start for a team that's used to it. Beautiful night in the Hammer for a CFL game on Friday Night Football. 7-0 Argos. Chad Kelly and the Argo offense back on the field, starting from the 46. Handing off to Andrew Harris, who came into this game within 50 yards of catching Charles Roberts for 5th all-time in career rushing yardage in the Canadian Football League. He's getting closer.
I'd love to see that personally. You know, just a milestone for him. Move up to top 5. That's saying something right there. Chasing Chuck Bob. Come on. That's
an old teammate of Milt Steagles.
That's right.
Andrew Harris grew up watching him in Winnipeg. So a gain of 4 there, 44 behind now, and that is complete on the slant to DeMonte Coxey, the top receiver in the Argos this season, and his first catch of this game.
Yeah, he's got to dart this one in there because it's well covered, and he puts it right on the 8 and the 6, and whack, sticks it right there. Because if not, I'm telling you, that ball's, you know, could be going the other way. George right there with good coverage, just a better throw and catch.
Injured Ticat down on the field. DeMonte Coxey, and what a catch he had last week early on in Montreal.
Right there, huh?
How about that?
Laying out, no regard for his body. Gets him. Oh, yeah. That's just gorgeous. Yeah, that's, to me, the reason that play works is he left himself some room to work with on the outside. Quarterback loves that. He can throw him open in that case, and it becomes basically a three-way go as opposed to just over the top. He was able to spot it outside. That's a relatively easy catch for Coxey, believe it or not.
He came in 19.4 yards a catch, and that average is the highest in the CFL. Shorter one that time, but good for a first down. And it is just kept on the ground.
Yeah.
A.J. Ouellette for the Argos.
I'm just watching the meat in the middle right there. You know, the Hamilton Ticats interior defensive line led by Sales, and looks like Ted Laurent, I'm going to say, just eating that interior up and nowhere for A.J. to go. And he says, I'm okay with that. I'll pound it in there. And Sales says, bring it. That's what I do. So we are. There's Mark Washington right there. Talking to his daughter before the game, who's in social media, works for the Ticats. Simi.
2nd and 8. It is complete. Shy of a first down. And after the catch, Coxey, Richard Leonard gets some help too. Tunde Adeleke coming over, and they have words. Shy of a first down at about the 45.
Yeah, to me, this is what the rivalry is all about. He's right here, and he's just gonna go out there and give it to me. Chad does, and he's gonna expect him to make a DB miss, and kind of a he had his back to him, trying to make a move on him like he was in his own backyard playing against his brother. Leonard said, no, not today. Not on my watch.
Out he goes out of the 46 of John Haggerty, coming to punt it away, and it is high and it is short. And coming in is McAllister. And they do have him covered. He does get it out to the 24 in the Argos coverage unit. Does avoid a no-yard situation there. So back comes Taylor Powell.
Yeah, and his defense is given an opportunity. You know, getting Toronto off the football field. Not great field position to work with, but he's got another opportunity here. And see if he can't figure it out on his 3rd possession. Not many people have figured out about this Toronto defense. You know, they'll bend and not break. You know, they're tough on the run. You would think that Hamilton would try to lean on that too.
Off to the right and a loss of yardage. Jamal Peters coming in on James Butler, and he had him marked as soon as Butler got the ball.
Yeah, it's like he knew that play was coming. Read his mail.
And that was the final play of an interesting first quarter. Once again, the Argos started fast. They took the ball, and they took it right down to score the only points of this game. Touchdown, Cameron Dukes. 7-0 Toronto, Friday Night Football at Tim Hortons Field. Through 15 minutes here at Tim Hortons Field, 7-0 Argos. Matty, we've seen this kind of thing from Toronto before. A fast start. They took their first possession down for the Dukes touchdown, and that's holding up right now. Yeah,
and kudos to the Ticat defense for bowing their nets and giving the young quarterback an opportunity, because right now, that offensive game plan right now is basically one-dimensional, and it's on the arm of the young quarterback, Taylor Powell. The running game has been held to -3 yards. You saw those stats there in the first quarter, and that's not a good sign. That continues. It could be a long day for the young quarterback, and you're going to start seeing people like Jamal Peters jumping things like he did on that last hit screen. And to me, they got to try to establish that line of scrimmage before the game gets away from them, because then they won't have a choice. They'll just have to chunk it.
Well, Powell's numbers through one quarter, 5 for 6. Bit misleading on that last one, that hit screen you talked about, the Powell, which lost yardage. So it's a 2nd and long right now, of 15 yards at the Hamilton 19 for Powell, and the Ticats to start quarter number 2. He steps up, he completes it to Keandre Smith for his first catch of this game, and it is well shy of a first down as the punting unit will come on.
Rodney, a little flashback. You know, this game's nothing. First pass in my professional career. Yeah, I got Tim White in the back of the end zone. I'll just lift it over there and let him do the rest. Not bad. Last time that happened, that was way back. I think it was Cody Fajardo when he was a Toronto Argonaut. He threw his first touchdown pass as a professional.
And on the return, Javon Leake there up near the 40. Well, Powell, very early on in his time in Hamilton, was introduced to what Ticat fans are like and what they're thinking about. Have a listen to his first impression here.
I was getting a haircut, and this sweet lady had a son on the team, and she goes, she told me, like, this was like during preseason, like, I was like, I didn't know if I was gonna be on the team or not, and she walks up to me and goes, you better go to a dadgum Grey Cup. And I was like, well, I'm just trying to figure out where where the bathroom's at and that sort of thing, but yeah, I could tell, like, all right, this place is awesome.
Argo ball, Kelly.
Welcome to the Hammer.
Yeah,
right?
do you think she said dadgum, by the way?
No. No, I think Tanner was cleaning that up for us. In the meantime, he said, excuse me, ma'am, I'm just looking for the latrine. Let me go. That's awesome. Yeah, but, that's just passionate.
Yeah.
Bo knows that. They're passionate like that in Calgary. He figured that out quickly here. What a mentor right there. And he talks about it, too, that room with Bo Levi Mitchell, Matthew Schultz, all contributing, helping the young quarterbacks out. And they got Antonio Pipkin in there, along with Kai Loxley, still trying to figure it out. They need a bigger room, Rod. They're getting a lot of quarterbacks up in there.
There's Curly Gittins on the receiving end there, and another first down as the Argos offense is working quickly again.
Talk about a guy that's yet to get started, he's just scratching the surface.
That one a little too much for DeVaris Daniels.
He double cocked it right there. He went to throw it, and then he stopped his motion, and watch him release this ball going there. Oh, I'd see what happened. He got hit low, and Daniels couldn't handle it with the one hand.
That was the first incompletion for Chad Kelly, who started 8 for 8, so 8 for 9 now, over 100 yards early in the second quarter.
We call that THTH, too hot to handle.
Inside the Hamilton 45, setting up, getting it to Olette. A.J. Olette, he gets ahead of steam, and he takes it down inside the Tiger Cat 30. Another first down for the Double Blue.
Oh, and then a flag late there, Rodney. Yeah, I love it. Set up beautifully. Watch Chad. 1, 2, 3, look left. Spot the football. Get after it.
After the play, we have a 15-yard misconduct foul against Toronto number 86. We'll go back 15 yards from the end of the play. It's going to be first down for Toronto.
You see, it's plays like that. We're trying to find that for you. It's plays like that that change momentum as a football game. Toronto's driving, converted on 2nd and long, and then bang, they're backed up. And you can't be that selfish.
Worst team in the CFL in terms of the number of penalties they take per game, coming in at 11.3.
Which is crazy.
And a lot of them on offense, too. Trying to make up for it there is Kelly completes that one down to the 25 to Curly Gittins.
And, yeah, climb the pocket, stick it. Little dig route. Left to right. Left him in his packed. Oh, here's a better look at it. Go high point it. Look at those hands, folks. One on the bottom, one on top, one on the back end, one on the front end. Chris Edwards in the vicinity. Hell of a concentration catch right there.
First down at the 26, Argos. Ticat territory. Some pressure coming. He gets it away. It's complete again to Gittins. He gets it down inside the 10, and a flag is out again. Back at about the Hamilton 25 in the original line of scrimmage.
Chad Kelly saying it's on Hamilton.
Hamilton number 44. That penalty's declined. Result of the play for first down for Toronto.
Well, it happens fast, getting big chunks here. The Toronto Argonauts are. Chad Kelly overcoming a penalty by his teammate, sticking the ball hanging in there, spotting receivers late, picking up big chunks of yardage here, and Curly Gittins is feeling it on this drive.
He certainly is. He's been busy. He gets it down inside the Hamilton 9. Argos knocking at the door again, and a first and goal. Kelly with time. End zone!
A strike.
And it's Gittins, who had a busy drive, is the one to finish it off from Chad Kelly.
Strike him lightly.
Right here. Pose for the camera.
laser. Lasered. He had no choice but to protect himself, otherwise he would have been impaled. Stick it on him. Ball's out. Oh my goodness. Curly Gittens drive right there, folks. Chad Kelly showing you off that cannon of a right arm. It's a lot of fun to watch from up here in bird's eye view.
Suddenly Gittens has 5 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown. 9-yard strike there from Kelly, and the point after by Boris Beatty. 7 plays, 71 yards. The Argos went down for a touchdown in their first possession of the first quarter, and they do the same here in quarter number 2, doubling their lead. 14-0 in Hamilton. Mentioned Gittens has 5 catches, 4 of them, Matty, and 59 yards on that touchdown drive.
Yeah, that was a Gittens drive all day long. That was Kelly to Curly. Dial him in right there. A dart. He doesn't dart that in there. That ball's undercut by Tunde Adeleke, and it's going the other way. But he darted it on his shoulder and finished that drive. Kelly to Curly all day long on that one.
Ticats getting it back. McAllister on the return, and he is hit hard and taken down immediately by Trevor Hoyt just outside the 30. James Butler, they need to get that running game going, and not good so far. 2 carries, -3 yards. He had 167 combined last week in Edmonton. 0 so far here in the second quarter, with the Ticats down 14. One of the key reasons for Hamilton's win in Edmonton last week was James Butler, who racked up 127 yards on the ground and a touchdown, 40 more through the air. It's been a different story against the Argos tonight.
Yeah, he's a dual threat back. We saw that last year, first 2/3 of the season. When he was a BC Lion, he comes over here, high expectations, and they really haven't established him at all. I mean, it's like Brinkman and company of. Now they go double tights here.
They're down 14 with the ball at the 31 in the hands of Butler. And Brandon Barlow got in quickly on him. And the Argos up front, they've been effective all season, and they have been so far against the run in this game.
Yeah, you know, this is good production. This guy is a playmaker, one of the best in the league, and Toronto's shutting down that run game, making the young quarterback in the Hamilton Tiger Cat offense one-dimensional right now. Looking at 2nd and long, and James Butler is completely being erased here in the first half.
Established as one of the top running backs in the league with the BC Lions last year. We got a 2nd and long and a bobble. Ball there, nearly intercepted. It is. Jamal Peters has it. His first pick of the season, and he takes it in for the touchdown, and a flag is out back in the secondary of the Argos.
Bobble snap, Rod, it started this mess, and the ball was late, and it was high, tipped, and Peters ball hawked it, which Toronto does. And on the return, I think there's a block in the back. That's what I'm saying, what I saw from here. So here's a bobble snap. That throws off the timing. He darts it out there. Ball's undercut. Mechie almost gets it. Peters does, takes it to the house. There, little collision. Looked like could have been a block in the back there. Take points off the board for Toronto's D. Duke Williams not happy at all. I wouldn't be either. Rivalry like this,
Well,
getting it taken to you for the first 20 minutes.
he was a nightmare for the Ticats, you recall, in a couple of games last year, Matty.
Every time they play, it seems like.
He had 3 picks in one game and then 2 the next. 5 in 2 games against Hamilton. As the offense for the Argos is on the field, so their ball. But
after the interception, illegal block. Toronto, number 48, will go back 10 yards. It's going to be first down for tomorrow.
so the pick stands, but Wynton McManus is called for the illegal block. So points off the board, but the Argos Argos are in scoring position with that 14-point lead, and another interception, actually first of the season for Jamal Peters.
Yeah, and it's a shame. And you're gonna see the play happen up top of your screen. Mechie undercuts the throw because it's late because of the bobbled snap, and then Jamal gets it. Then right here, bang, right there, McManus takes out the receiver into the official, and they're backing up 10.
From the 32, Hamilton, Kelly. Back to work again, and no, the intended receiver was Gittens, who just caught the touchdown pass on the previous possession, second down.
Yeah, see if we can't see it one more time. I'm going to go back and look at it. Keeps Toronto out of the end zone for now. That ball was almost caught. Here it is here. Yeah, right in the back. 85 felt it. Did a nice job of giving him his back. Destroyed the official on the sidelines. Peters takes it to the house, and he thinks he's got a pick six, but that's coming back. 2nd and 10 right here.
Second and 10 at the 32. Kelly, time again in the pocket, complete. Found a spot, and he's still going for the touchdown, Tavares Daniels. And the Argos continue to pour it on.
More howitzer by Kelly. He's just showing off now. He's loving throwing these dig and these in patterns. About 20 yards deep, just knifing them in tiny holes. He's going to come to your left side. He looks left, darts it, and a hole right there. Tavares Daniels breaks a tackle, finds the end zone. Says, there, Jamal, I got your back. I got your back, Wing. We'll pick you up. It's getting ugly early.
Second touchdown of the season for Daniels, as Beatty's on for the third point after try, as he pushes that one to his right. So we'll call it a 20-0 lead for the Argos. Didn't get the pick six, but they took over deep, and Kelly and that Argo offense did the rest. Daniels, touchdown Toronto. Argos up big. Tavares Daniels with the touchdown and sharing the moment with injured linebacker Enoch Mwamba.
Gotta get another one.
And talking about getting another one, they have 3 in this game so far, the Argos do, and the toughest drive yet there for Taylor Powell. It was intercepted. That's what set it up when it was Jamal Peters to take it away. So Ticats in a hole now with Tyreek McAllister and Lawrence Woods. Back for this one, McAllister inside the 5. Straight up and taken down just across the 20. So Chad Kelly thrown a couple of touchdown passes and a near perfect outing for him so far, Matty.
Tavares Daniels going to come in there, run a dig route. Tight windows closing fast. Looks left, plants, cocks the howitzer and sticks it in there. And he just absorbs the hit, spins off, finds the end zone. Look at Chad's point of view. Boy, that's fun when you see it and you trust your arm. You stick it in there. Boy, he can lock you in for the rest of the season or throw like that. And then Beatty missed his first convert of the season.
Chad Kelly, 13 of 15, 196 in the 2. So back to Taylor Powell, setting up that screen and trying to get Butler moving. He's got some room. He has a first down. He has it up across the 40 of the Ticats. Falerina Romolade, the one to take him down.
Yeah, something positive right there. Get the ball, get him touches. That guy's special when he gets the ball in space and just check it and release. Get some big boys out front with Manzi. Kemp trying to pick them off as they go. Make them redirect or something. Butler does the rest.
And that is their first down in 4 possessions now with Butler. Getting them a little breathing space now up at their 41. Powell, he got away from the heat of Adarius Pickett, and he does get it away. Lands down in midfield with no Ticat receiver nearby, as Powell was facing the blitz there as Pickett nearly got him.
Hendricks just closing in on him too, like no tomorrow. Watch Hendricks. He goes to his right, 99 Toronto. Now the big man gets on his horse and he's catching up to him in a hurry. Abort, abort, abort. Just get rid of it. Don't take that shot. Hendricks, well, that's just effort play right there. It's getting it done.
Pressure on Taylor Powell in his first CFL start. And this is 2nd and 10. Heat's coming again. He completes it. First down and more up near midfield for Duke Williams.
Yeah, you know, you talk about getting rid of it. You're right. Off his back foot, pressure in his face, slings it. Got it right. Kind of looked like McManus undercut it. McManus undercut it. He threw it behind him, and Duke made a nice catch and play.
His parents looking on as Powell goes to work again to Williams.
Why not?
He's been targeted 6 times. He has 5 catches for over 50 yards so far in this one. A pickup of 5 at the Argo 50.
Making up for an anomaly last week. 1 target, 0 receptions. Looks like he's the only man on the field for the Ticats right now, trying to get Butler going too. Empty set.
They go empty with 6 receivers out, and it is a penalty before the snap of the ball.
Yeah, something happens with the young quarterback, new quarterback.
Procedure, Hamilton number 62. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's going to be still 2nd down.
Cadence may be a little bit different. You got a new left tackle in there, hadn't been there for a while. And he's a little anxious, you know, because he's got a lot of heat coming at him, wants to protect his quarterback, and moves a little early.
So take away the 5 they got on the first down. With the penalty, it's back to a 2nd and 10 now. Right at midfield. In a 20-point hole past the midway point of this first half in Hamilton. Blitz coming again. Powell gets rid of it. And Pickett taking down Richie Sindani with his first catch, but not enough for a first down, and the punting unit will come on again.
Yeah, not belaboring the point here, but 2nd and 5, that's a first down. 2nd and 10, that's 3rd and 5, and you're punting. Penalties kill you, kill drives, and unfortunate, but you're not going to force the ball into the defense. They're just giving you that at that point.
Bailey Flint the punt. High, down at the 10 for Leaf. And gets it down to about the 18 for Kelly and the Argo offense to come on again. Kate, Milton, Chezzy, and Lapo. That's the halftime band, and it's coming up. And you know,
are they back in Studio 6? Because last night they're in a different studio.
Well, with World Cup going on, there's so much going on in sports.
Yeah.
But you know where they are. You know where they are.
I know
next week.
Yeah, we're at Touchdown Atlantic.
We're heading to Halifax for the Argos against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and look at Kelly's numbers so far. 13 of 15, 196 in those 2 touchdowns.
Come on, young man. You're starting your 6th game as a professional in Canadian Football League. Let's get it together. You missed 2 balls out of 15. What are you doing?
He was 21 of 25 for 351 last week in Montreal. A.J. Ouellette. They go to the ground, and Ouellette pounds it up over the 20 for a pickup of about 4 or 5 yards.
And the 2 incompletions, one was contested catch on a dig route over the middle, a dart, you know, could have been caught. Tough catch, though. And the other one, he had pressure, and he got hit low, and the ball sailed on him a little bit, and Tavares got a hand on it, and he couldn't bring it in. So it's not like he's missed those. There's opportunities on the other end to pick him up, but he's been spectacular so far in the first 25 minutes.
2nd and 6. The 21. Well, they nearly had him, and he takes off, and a flag comes out as well, as it's the ex-Argo, Chris Edwards, who takes him down. Edwards was flagged earlier, a misconduct foul up against his old team.
Yeah, a little indecision caught him here. And he started to run right here. Fell off the saw a big hole, and hold up.
Toronto number 52. The penalties decline. It's going to be 3rd down.
There's a bunch of guys holding on that. You know, you got to protect your quarterback, and when things are breaking down, that often happens. And coach not happy. Coach Ryan Dinwiddie graced with an extension of his contract this past week. Gotta like that.
Certainly say he's earned it.
Yes.
2 previous seasons, first place in the East both times, and then winning a Grey Cup in his 2nd year.
And being 4-0 to start the season.
And that'll help too. So it's John Haggerty back inside his 10. Single returner back. That's McAllister. Tyreek McAllister. Little move goes straight up, and he's knocked down there by Daniel Kwamu on the tackle. Well, a couple of opposing receivers, talented ones at that. DeMonte Coxie and also Duke Williams. And with more on their story, let's go back to Matthew.
East St. John High School in Reserve, Louisiana, is where Duke Williams really established himself. And when I asked DeMonte Coxie what receiver he looks up to, well, it's Duke Williams, because he watched Duke Williams early on in his high school career do some of the stuff that we're seeing tonight. And as DeMonte Coxie continues to build his reputation in this league, although certainly tonight we're seeing Curly Gittins Jr., DeVaris Daniels, and Dejon Brissett do their thing. The one thing that Coxie said is, I watch the way that Duke Williams is competitive. I watch his eyes. It helps me just not only be an intimidator, but establish myself. And I saw after that hug that I asked Duke, listen, what do you think about Coxie and what he's doing? He said, listen, that's been my guy since high school. I don't want him doing much tonight. I might teach him a little, guys.
Not bad high school receivers, right? I can just imagine, Matthew. Williams going on to play at Auburn and Coxie going on to play at Memphis.
Yeah, and my offensive coordinator at Louisiana Tech, when I was playing college football, coached that young man, Duke Williams, down there at Reserve, Louisiana, East St. John. Said he was the best football player ever graced the field in the state of Louisiana. That's high praise right there, because a lot of studs come out of the state of Louisiana.
Well, on the second and short, Butler does have enough for the first down. They're trying to get him going. That was after a 9-yard gain by McAllister, getting him a touch as well. So we're at the 3-minute warning now, and the Ticats still have to get on the board, trying to do it before halftime.
4-2-1.
Coming up at the half, we break down the Curly Gittins breakout game. We give a little love to Mario Alford. And what's the new segment we are going to be debuting?
Stop playing.
Stop playing. We get that sponsored yet? Lapo, did you sponsor that?
Stop playing, Milt.
Stop playing? Not a chance, Milt. Kate the panel.
Sometimes you don't have a choice, Ron. You just got to stop playing.
Cross midfield, Ticats setting it up for Terry Godwin on his first catch, and a flag does come out as he gets it just inside the Toronto 50. Another penalty.
Wow. Impressed.
Illegal block, Hamilton, number 57. It's a 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
So they get the left guard Brandon Revenberg in the block after the catch by Godwin.
Yeah, and you know, you're playing for Oakman, right? And Brinkman's right here. And watch him get out there on his history. A fly sweep fake, boom. Get out there, big boy. Get out there. Hungry? Go get some. That's inside out. That's playing football right there. That's the guy that wants it. And that's impressive effort by Jared Brinkman.
As you mentioned, rotating in, Sean Oakman out of the lineup tonight. Scratched from the Argos. Setting up another screen, and that one intended for McAllister.
Right,
this is a guy, a good returner, and this is someone you'd love to see them get him, the ball into his hands more.
Goodness, I'd be staying up 24/7 around the clock, devising plays to get the ball in his hands. And I know that Tommy Condell's doing that, and he sees it in this player. He's explosive. We have so many talented, special, explosive players in the Canadian Football League. There's one of them right there, 3'5", just getting started. Look at Tommy Condell, the offensive coordinator. Yeah, he knows what he's got there, trying to get him the football on that play.
Sure, guys, there's something else.
Came in with a couple of catches.
99 yards.
99 yards and a touchdown, 64-yarder. So 2nd and 10 now. Powell. And that is a first down, Hamilton. James Butler. Or short by 6, excuse me. They had the longer distance to go.
Yeah, that illegal block got him, put him back 10.
Would have been had it not been for that penalty.
Again,
so no, got it down to the 50-51.
2 series in a row, penalties put them in a second and longer situation than they were in, than they wanted to be, and they had good success on 2nd down, but those penalties cost them the ability to hang on to the football.
So the drive stops.
There's a pooch kick right here.
Onside. See if they can get it. flags come out, but they had some of the coverage unit onside lining up a design play and a short punt to hang on to the football with 2:16 to go until halftime. Jeff Reinbold, the special teams coordinator for the Ticats.
Yeah, you know he's up around the clock devising plays, and here he had a couple guys. There's a look at Jeff, longtime special teams guru in the Canadian Football League, head coach in Winnipeg in years past. Dialed that one up, had a couple onside players to the left of your screen. You can't see them here, but they're behind Flint. There's one there. Pooch punt. There you go. McFadden didn't play it right. Unger didn't play it right. Hey, you got to go get that.
Perfectly executed by the Ticats. And Nick Cross, who lined up in behind Flint and was able to pick up the ball as Hamilton's drive will continue. They get it down to the Argo 33. Still lots of time for Hamilton to get on the board. They trail by 20. Taylor Powell in his first CFL start. Under pressure, he gets it away and completes it to Godwin. Godwin down to the 20, 15. Terry Godwin taken out down near the 10. And the Ticats have their best shot yet at finding the end zone in this one.
Yeah, this is a headsy play by the young quarterback. He wants the pump fake, his fake, boom, right there. He wants the seam, got to move, and he knows he's still got a man, keeps his eyes downfield, finds Godwin. Godwin does the rest. They got some momentum here. Thank goodness for that special teams onside kick. Hamilton's knocking at the door, see if they can't get some momentum going into half. Taylor Powell, nice play, young man.
So they're knocking at the door at the Argo 11. Powell with time. Steps up. End zone! No! The intended receiver was Tim White. They connected in Edmonton when he first came on last week. But not that time, and a second down coming up.
Yeah, Deshaun Amos was closing ground quickly, and I think Powell realized that. It looks like he's got space out in front of him, and watch Amos, he's coming. I think that's a pretty good decision. Otherwise, it's going to be light up city. He's losing ground quickly. Sometimes you just got to take it upon your own shoulders and pull it down and try to get what you can.
Big 2nd and 10 coming up here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats with Butler in the backfield. And Powell. Deontay Knight nearly had it. He escapes, gets rid of it into the end zone, but no. Incomplete. The intended receiver was White again, so a 3rd and 10 coming up here at the Argo 11. And the field goal unit is coming on.
He's getting flushed. He's keeping his eyes downfield, hoping somebody comes open. That's a nice play by Roberson Daniel there, closing, disrupting that one.
Some fans don't like the idea of not going for the touchdown on 3rd, but they need to get some points on the board here late in the first half. Something to show for it. And that great special teams play to push him down further. Mark Leggio. And they do indeed get their first points on that short field goal.
Leggio stays perfect. That's exactly what this team needed, was some points. They were looking for 6, but they got 3 thanks to Jeff Reinbold. Creativity and a little onside pooch punt. That's worked to perfection. And Toronto bows their neck defensively and forces a 3, which Mark Leggio, his 4 games in a Hamilton uniform, has been perfect.
13 for 13 for the ex-Bomber, Mark Leggio. And Jeff Reinbold, you draw them up, they don't always work perfectly, but that one did on that 3rd down, and that little pooch punt by Bailey Flint into the hands of Nick Cross.
I guarantee you they'll take it, Rod. That's huge, man. Nothing's going your way. Special teams gives you an out, and you get 3 points.
Back to Kelly. Back to work. Closest target there was a Ticat, Richard Leonard. Would have been tough to catch it down off the turf, a little bit low, but he was the closest one to it.
Yeah, Richard Leonard really playing at a high level this season. That was the first decision I've seen Chad Kelly tonight, which was the wrong one. And it's just, he had nothing there. He could have extended that play, but hey, this is his 6th start. He's thrown like 160 passes, of course, in his career. The guy's been playing at a high level.
Blitz coming. Chris Edwards has him. And Kelly is sacked for the 2nd time in this game. Edwards, the ex-Argo, tries to get his side fired up on defense. And a 3rd down coming up, and still 1:38 on the clock. Still time for the Ticats, who just got their first 3 points on the board.
Yeah, he's right here. Excuse me, I'll get this going. He's right here, and he's just a hustle play out and around. Just a little chip, not enough. He's got momentum, takes Kelly down. That's huge. Like Rod said, 2nd of the night, 6th of the season.
The punt by Haggerty and McAllister. And a short return. Well, I'll tell you.
During the return, while the ball was in the air, holding number 29 against Hamilton. It's a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be 1st down.
Thank you, Ben Major.
Do you know that I don't like sharks, right? I don't
afraid of sharks, are you?
Yeah, this is exactly what this defense needed. You talk about putting points on the board the last drive after the nice executed special teams play, pooch kick. Edwards forces a punt. They got the ball back. Penalty took him back there, but Rod, they can get a big play here, get some more points for momentum. Hamilton going into halftime.
Is there a tie-in with Sharks and Chris Edwards there?
Well, he was coming like he smelled blood in the water.
Play the Jaws music. The handoff. Butler. And works his way for about 6-7 yards up across the 25. 1:10 to go until halftime.
I'm so glad that guy's back in the league right there, Win McManus. He just a couple years in Calgary, went south of the border. We got him back, and he's just been spectacular. Win McManus. There's
Corey Mace.
Corey Mace making it happen defensively. Doesn't get enough credit, but he should. Just settled in beautifully as a DC.
McManus, one of the ex-Stampeders who was with Mason Calgary. So back to Butler, nowhere to go. Pickett is first in, and then Brinkman to help out as well. And that was on a 2nd and short. They only needed about 3 yards, and they ended up going backwards.
Yeah, they did. Pickett said, not on my watch. Barlow and company. Brinkman in there as well. Just canceling the gaps. Winton coming in late. Off the edge. Oh, my goodness. That's just, you talk about sharks smelling blood in the water. Toronto said, no, we're not running the football today. Beautiful job defensively.
Expect Bailey Flint to kick this one a little further than his last punt.
And Rod, 39 seconds, 36-5. They're trying to take time off the clock here, but you're going to have a chance to put points on the board with Beatty's leg here.
Javon Leake is back for it, and it's a beautiful punt by Flint. Chasing Leake back inside his 35. Cuts it back to the left, and Kelly comes on, but very little time to work with now. They got a 17-point lead.
I'd take a couple shots here.
Yes, you would.
I'm pushing it down the field.
Yes, you would.
I'm covering the seams, couple of rail shots with this kid's arm.
I remember your playing days.
If everybody drops back, if they drop back, I'm going to get it down to one of my backs and let them go get me about 25, 30, and have maybe another 10 seconds on the clock. Get you another short one, beat his leg, put 3 on the board. I'm taking a shot here for sure.
Well, Boris Beatty's been known to hit him over 50, that's for sure. 4-man rush, and Kelly just gets away, and he completes that. So here we go. Phillips, 9 seconds on the clock, and the first catch of the game for Cam Phillips, and the Argos hurry up over the ball.
A nice 20-yarder, not an easy catch. Makes that look easy, though. Cam Phillips getting in the mix.
Six seconds. And Tavares, intercepted. They whistle that down, though, or was it?
He didn't make the clean
Stavros
catch.
Katsantonis trying to come in for the pick.
He was pot hanging back there. Chad's staring it down, so just trust his eyes, because you know he's got to get rid of the football. pretty good acting job by Stavros.
He was trying to sell it.
Yeah, third-year player, UBC, yeah. But, yeah, trust your eyes. Time's running out. Now he's got to push it to the end zone here. See what we got here. See how he's going to throw this high and long, I'm thinking, Ron.
Last play of the first half, Kelly. See what he does. He's winding up. And, oh, what a beautiful catch there for DeMonte Coxey. Down inside the 20, down to the 15 for Coxey.
That's a nice catch. End of the half. I was surprised he didn't chunk it in the end zone.
Well,
we get to watch the beautiful catch, though. Boy, this left leg looked like it took a beating right there. It got bent back.
Well, assuming he's okay, we get
face mask too.
And there you go with the George covering him. Coxey gets the numbers, he gets the catch, and gets a few words afterwards with George.
Bragging rights there, yeah, all day.
Another completion there for Kelly. And earlier had a touchdown pass to Curly Gittens Jr. standing by with Matthew.
Well, Curly, you're up 2 scores, but we know there's a very small margin of error here in Hamilton. How do you keep attacking the Ticats in the second half?
We just keep sticking to our game, play Argos football, and just trusting each other, trusting the coaching staff, trusting their preparation for the week, and just go out there, execute, and have fun.
We're talking about trust. We're seeing week in and week out the kind of chemistry that Chad Kelly's not only building with Coxey, but yourself and Tavares Daniels. Take us through your second touchdown.
You know, we've been trying to get on the same page for weeks now. And, you know, we practice so hard that, you know, eventually he's going to pay off on the field. And, you know, he trusted where I'm going to be, and I trust that, you know, as soon as I make my break, that ball's going to be right there. And it's a trust thing, you know, trust, you know, it's not built overnight, you know, it's a work in progress. And, that, you know, that's what we work towards each and every day.
Thanks, Curly.
All right, thank you.
Well, Kate, the Ticats are down 18, or 17, I should say. It has been silent here, and you wonder if they don't pick things up in the second half. The fans could turn on them.
Well, they're certainly going to have to pick things up, to say the least. Back alongside Davis Sanchez, Paul Lapalisse, Milt Stiegel, and I love when TV works like this, because we will be talking about Curly Gittens Jr. Coming into this game, he had a combined 119 yards. As you just saw on screen there, he's already got 62 in this game. It was almost right from the start. You could just feel it, that chemistry that we've been looking for all season long, Milt. It's there between him and Chad Kelly.
Yeah, you got to be happy for this guy. And Chaz and I do a segment called Head to Head every week, and this week it was on Curly Gittens Jr. His over-under was 44.5, and I said he was going to go under, so I'm sorry, Curly. But all season long, you know, Chad Kelly's been having a great year, but the one guy he hadn't found chemistry with was this guy. And coming into this season, this was their #1 guy, because he had a spectacular year last year. So I'm sure they're overjoyed that they're finally getting him involved in this offense in this first half. A lot of people don't know this, but when he was injured, he suffered a hamstring, and he's still suffering through that hamstring. But his mental toughness won't allow him to sit down. He's having his great first half. If they can continue him going with these other receivers, the way that quarterback is playing with that running game, it's going to be tough for anybody to beat this team.
Yeah, I've been watching this Argos defense, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from Royce Mechie. Like, we talk about all the playmakers they have, and one guy who might be the most valuable player on that defense is Royce Mechie. And here's why. It's what he does before the ball's even snapped. And that's what I'm loving about Royce. You talk to people that have been around him, they say he's a gym rat. He's always in the film room, always studying, runs the meetings, and it's evident. Pre-snap, on that play right there, you saw they're showing some disguise. It was a halfback blitz. And when the halfback blitz, the linebacker actually buzzed out, kind of, you throw where the blitz comes from, usually, right, Lapo? And they did that. They tried to buzz, the linebacker buzzed out, and the ball got tipped up, and it was a pick. But what we see from these halfbacks, and the free safety is the only guy in the secondary that works with both sides, both the strong and the weak side. And you see Royce Mechie before the snap talking to his boundary half, talking to his field half, talking to his Sam, and they're always showing looks. That BC game where they had 6 picks, a bunch of that came from Royce and his halfbacks working and giving pre-snap disguise. I'm loving what he's doing. Heck of a player.
Can I just say one gym rat? We play football. We're not in the gym, Chaz.
Neither of you guys
Remember
been
that.
in the gym. Come on. Look,
yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, Mill.
I know I'm right.
I want to say this. Hats off to Jeff Reinbold. You don't see the onside punt happen. Got great field position to put them in a position to get down and get their points. Taylor Powell, I want to talk about him, you know, and what he's done. He's 13 and 19, 129 yards, 1 INT. You know, he's been a good pocket athlete. I like here Tommy Condell's called some quick passes to get the ball in the perimeter. We call a pocket athlete. It's a guy who he's not going to scramble, get first downs, but he's going to climb the pocket, move around so he can throw to his receivers. And I thought he's done that really good. You know, what's hurt them is they've had a couple of second extras, guys, and an extra means it's greater than 10 yards. Nobody in the Canadian Football League converts those at a high percentage. So they got to be better on first down for them. And they've been stopped on 2 2nd and 2s, right? So they got to be a little bit better on that short yardage. But they're in this game. This is an easy game for them to come back and go ahead and get the win.
Down 17 points at the half. Meanwhile, I've been told by our producer Troy that Stop Playing not only doesn't have graphics, we don't even have sponsorship, so I have to stop promoting things that we don't currently have.
It's going to happen.
So get ready. Week 12 in the CFL, the segment Stop Playing. We're just looking for a sponsor. Stop playing.
Stop playing.
Stop.
Delivered. He walked it like he talked it. Mario Alford, if there's one guy in the game that you wouldn't mind in a moment like this, he's your guy. Just the 10th time in CFL history that somebody returned 2 punts for touchdowns in the same game.
Well, with those 2 punts for TDs, Mario Alford set the Riders record for most combined return touchdowns in Riders franchise history. What does he have in store for an encore? Find out tomorrow as his Rough Riders take on the BC Lions. You can see it 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, and with more on the returner. It's Ches and Milt.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. Special teams is such a big part of our game, and the returners are a big part of the special teams. And we have some special ones, Ches.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who do you think is the most special one?
Well, I'm gonna say this. There's 9 guys on a punt team that aren't anywhere near as fast as the returners or close to it. There might be 1 or 2 guys that can really run. When we were watching the Calgary SAS game last week, and we both said the same thing. End of the game, Calgary was punting to SAS. We said, do not kick it to Mario Alford, because that's the only way or the best way they can score.
That's it.
Unless 2 DBs jump into each other.
Right.
But that's the only way they could do it. And they did. We see what Mario Alford can do in the return game. But with the emphasis, a lot of quarterback injuries, some young quarterbacks, our special teams, it's just that much. It's always important, but there's more emphasis this year with all of that.
And there are a lot of special ones. We talk about Alford. We talk about Janarian Grant. Unfortunately, he's on IR. We talk about League. We talk about Dandridge. We talk about Worthy, Deadman. And one guy I want to give a special shout out to. We saw him last week. He had a great return, Tommy Lee Lewis. He got called back. But when we saw him, we said, this kid is special.
That might be the best return we see all year. Didn't count, but he got something.
Yeah, he needs to put down this highlight film. But Mario Alford, by far, is the best in the league right now. Do you agree?
I agree.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And they're going to really need him with that young quarterback and fine, but he's going to hold him up. He's going to hold up his end, and I think they'll be okay.
They're all faster than you were.
I used to.
Ches, are you okay? You okay, Ches? After what happened in BC, every time these guys get injured. Good thing Lapo's still here for the stats coming up right after this. Chesy? How you follow up the Rolling Stones, Lapo, but you're going to try with these stats.
The Argonauts have done, haven't been able to run the football. You want to make a team one-dimensional. Well, they are one-dimensional, but they're throwing it too good in that dimension, guys, right? For the Ticats, they need to get an explosive play. They got to get something going with a deep shot downfield if possible.
Tacked on just a couple of yards at the end of that half as well, which always helps. Meanwhile, the Toronto Argonauts with a great start, currently up 20-3. Back to Tim Hortons Field, and Rod Smith and Matt Dunnigan right after this.
17 against the Argos. Here is Ticat head coach Orlando Steinauer with Matthew Shinetti.
Coach, I know you well enough to know that there will be no panic, even with this scoreline as it is. What was the message in the locker room?
We got to make some plays. That's not good enough. You know, we got to show better improvement. That's it.
I understand that Taylor Powell is kind of learning as he goes on the job right now, but how did you assess his first half?
Yeah, we missed some throws out there, and that's going to happen. The bottom line is we got to stop somebody, and we got to keep drives alive. When we get down here, we got to put the ball in the end zone. You know, we're playing a great team, and against great teams, you can't be average.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And there's Bo Levi Mitchell, who got injured against the Argos in week 2, standing near Taylor Powell, Matty. 13 of 19 for 129.
Yeah, I mean, without a running game, right? And penalties hurt him big time in that first half.
Tyreek McAllister, he felt the handoff, and he takes off. McAllister. Oh, the Ticats need this to start the second half, as he's finally pushed out by Boris Beattie, the kicker, but saw they faked a little reverse, and McAllister kept it, and we've talked about his big play capability. He just had a big play to start the second half for the Ticats.
Yeah, he's pretty special, isn't he, Rod? Just getting it done. Explosive player. Just finding ways to get the rock. A little fake reverse. McFadden can't bring him down, then it's off to the races. Well, you can see the speed. That's just impressive. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Special teams. Coach Reinbold loving that. Yeah.
Good night for special teams for Hamilton. 71-yard return, approaching the 25 of the Argos for Taylor Powell. And they try to get the running game going again, and it is tough sledding for James Butler as Falardo Remolade has him all wrapped up. So here's a sample of the first half for Taylor Powell, Matty.
Yeah, just shoulder the whole thing, son. You know, we'll throw the rock 16 times and won't establish a line of scrimmage, and they're putting it all on him. And I thought he handled himself quite well. High snap, got him in trouble right here. Put 3 points on the board for Toronto. No, I think they actually got 6 out of that, but hey, I liked what I saw. William been pushing the ball deep, hadn't had a lot of time, been checking it down a lot, but he's been pretty comfortable with his decision making.
Butler got 8, scrambling, throwing his Powell, and that one is incomplete.
Now see, right there in the Canadian Football League, I know he's trying to fit it in there to Smith, but he had a lot of green grass in front of him. He pulls that down, and he's got a real good shot of picking up a first down. I know he doesn't like to run. You've heard Paul Police talk about it. Didn't do that in university, but in this game, it's presenting it to you, and sometimes you just got to pull it down, and he'll figure that out.
So courtesy the long kickoff return by McAllister, it sets up this for Mark Leggio, who continues to be perfect on the season in the field goal department, now 14 of 14 as he puts that one through, and 3 more points on the board for the Ticats. Get it within a 2-score game, but the story of offense in the first half was Chad Kelly.
Yeah, it was just a ridiculous throw. People on your lap, and you just risked it out there. He threw some darts in there several times. This ball gets out there in a hurry. And, yeah, it's good to see Curly Gittens Jr. come to life right there, getting in the end zone. A dart across the middle. Tavares Daniels breaks a tackle and finds the end zone. Yeah, it's a lot of fun when you're able to sling it like he does. Almost 250 yards, a couple TDs. Couple poor decisions late there in that second quarter. But other than that, this kid has acquitted himself extremely well during the first 30 minutes of play. Looks like he's a little pissed off, too. Got that look on his face like he wants more, Rod.
Scrimmaging at the 40. Screening it off to get into it a big first half. As Chad Kelly has his 16th completion in 20 tries.
Guy I grew up trying to learn the game from, Condrich Holloway, University of Tennessee, standout, all-star, unbelievable.
And that was back in 1983, the last time the Argos started 4-0.
And, you know, Kelly's in rare company right there. And Condrich, boy, he could do it all. And you look at his completion percentage at 59%. That was good back then in the game, the way the game was played. And you look at Kelly's, he's way above that. And different game. Tremendous players, both of them, Chad Kelly, Condredge Holloway.
And Andrew Harris, tremendous player in his own right, one of the great running backs in the history of the game. He has that carry, and he has a first down. It was a 2nd and 3, gets it up to the Argo 50.
That's just an abundance of riches right there. First contact, then he gets you 4, right?
First down complete for another first down by Kelly to Cam Phillips inside the Hamilton 50.
That's another just dart by Chad Kelly. A lot of quarterbacks would admire this. Off his just slinging it in there, curl route in between 4 defenders. Nothing special. Just sit down in the zone, just fit it in there. That window's closing in a hurry, and the strong arm gets it in there. High points it. Cam Phillips making another tough catch.
Gain of 13 for Phillips. A.J. Ouellette on the ground, right side, finds Ruleman Moore. And then he kicks into freight train mode as he carries Stavros Katsantonis down to the Hamilton 10.
He looked like Larry Zonka going back, right? Unbelievable.
He's a load.
Yeah. That's impressive right there. He hits that hole. Gets some help on the back end. You see those receivers working hard for him downfield. Their jobs aren't over. They don't just catch the football. They block for their backs, and they are special.
Well, the leading rushing team in the CFL at only 26 yards rushing in the first half. They pass so well. That was a gain of 36. Kelly running out of time. Malik Carney nearly has it. He gets it away. Nearly intercepted. Intended for Giddens, and Richard Leonard was closing on a floating pass that easily could have been picked.
Yeah, you saw the short-circuiting happening for the young quarterback and Chad Kelly, who's been bang on with his thought process, but here, it's just not computing. He doesn't see it clearly. He gets happy feet, and then the board, oh, no. That's a bad decision right there. It could have gone the other way. Momentum Hamilton. Got to eat that one right there. Throw it in the ground. Well, that's up for anybody right there. Lucky it didn't go the other way. Got away with one.
On the 2nd and 10, Kelly. Taking off, getting it down to inside the 5.
I think that was Jameer Thurman that got him by the shoestring right there. And Kelly was, looked like he had an opportunity to get to the end zone. And that was closed quickly by number 6. Chad's going to walk it, get on his horse. There it is, Thurman. No, not today. Chad couldn't believe he took him down that quickly. Third and 4, Rod.
They're going for it. 3rd and 4 at the Hamilton 5. Just trying to draw the Ticats offside as they do let that play clock expire, and field goal unit can come on.
Violation, Toronto number 12. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still going to be 3rd down. Timer, please put 9:35 on the clock, please.
Yeah, that was premeditated. Try to draw him off sides. Give Beatty a chance to pick up 3 here.
Chip shot for Boris Beatty, trying to answer that field goal that the Ticats had to start the second half with one of their own here to restore the lead. 17 points. 23-6 now. Argos in control here in the 3rd quarter. Friday Night Football from Hamilton.
Welcome back to Tim Hortons Field. Well, here is an update on a referee. You're looking at down judge Jordan Tatosky. Thank you, Matt Dunnigan, in the booth, for helping me out with this. On that interception, Jamal Peters, he gets run into, and he has not come out for the second half. We are down to six officials on the sidelines, but I'm hearing that Jordan Tatoski's okay, guys.
Feel better, Jordan. Dangerous game, not just for the players down on the sidelines there. And
keep your head on a swivel.
Absolutely. So Hamilton ball after the field goal by the Argos. Taylor Powell is taken down. Faced a lot of heat. Nowhere to go. Darius Pickett is in there for the sack.
Oh, my goodness. Just long night continues to get longer for a young quarterback trying to figure it out against a really tough defense that is just getting after it. I'm going to circle everybody here because these guys are all fighting hard. And Pickett, there's Ramalade coming around the corner. Brinkman getting in there. Pickett getting in there, sealing the deal. Just people just feeling it right now. Why not? You got a rookie back there? Feed.
2nd and 10 at the Hamilton 40. Powell. More pressure. Ramalade didn't get him, but Robbie Smith coming in for a second crack at him. Takes him down. Back-to-back sacks for the Argos to force the punting unit of Hamilton's on again.
Shark Week is in full effect, Rod. They're smelling blood in the water. Yeah, there's Ramalade here, and there's Smith up top. One-on-one. Whoa, nice spin move by Fuller and Ramalade. And then Robbie comes off, finishes it. They're just having fun now. It's just feasting on a young quarterback.
Javon Leake with the ball. Outside the 30, takes a hit by Tunde Adeleke. And down he goes just across the 35. Defense rearing its head here in Hamilton for the Toronto Argonauts. Fuller and Ramalade. Some help from Robbie Smith too. And down goes the rookie Taylor Powell.
Yeah, there he is right there. Carthel Flowers Lloyd leads the CFL in special teams tackles this year, coming with 11 in this game. And watch him finish this football play. 43 late. Just going to make sure he's down right. Bam, there. Oh.
Wow.
That's a free shot right there.
And his name is Carthel Flowers Lloyd, CFL.
Yeah,
that could be his new nickname.
Rod, I like how you just put that together.
Well,
that was huge.
We'd need a lot of researchers to figure out if anyone's ever had an acronym to match the league. CFL with the big special teams play for Hamilton, and now the Argos with the football.
Yeah, that was a tough run. That was good defense by Hamilton trying to bow their necks, and Flowers Lloyd, CFL. I love it. I'm just going CFL from now on. Rest of the year, rest of his career, CFL. It's too easy. Thanks for helping me out there, Rod.
We're giving him a nickname for his special teams play. CFL and the CFL. 2nd and 10. Argo 36 movement. On the left side of the defensive front, Casey Sales is pointing fingers at DeJohn Allen.
Casey's guilty.
He was pointing them right back.
Yeah. I love this. Point fest.
Yeah. Whoever points the hardest.
This Sales. Look at defensive coordinator.
Offside. Hamilton number 44. It's a 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay 2nd down.
Mark Washington not happy with that. Yeah, Casey's big offseason acquisition was solidifying that D line.
2nd down with the penalty. 5 to go. The Argos 41 with a 17-point lead. Chad Kelly off to A.J. Ouellette, and Chris Edwards, his old teammate, comes in to take him down for a loss, and you don't see that happen to Ouellette very often.
He's excited to the point where he almost surprised himself. But he's pretty excited about that one, as he should be, because that's a good back, and he goes low, which is a good idea. Kind of caught A.J. off guard.
Before he
like a champ. That's a good play. That's a huge play. Get off the field.
Before he gets that head of steam going, too.
Yeah. Why not?
John Haggerty.
Open field tackle.
Standing back at the...
Miami and Davis. Sanchez back in the studio. How he did that.
Chesney could get it done. That punt by Haggerty back inside the 15 for McAllister. And they got him wrapped up nicely after about a 5-yard return. Chris Edwards won a Grey Cup with the Argos last year. Now up against his old team and old friend A.J. Ouellette. Down he goes. Ticat football still down by 17 here in Hamilton. 57 and 65. So a big lead heading into round 3. Watch it on TSN and CTV. Back here in Hamilton, 23-6 for the Argos. Hamilton ball. Taylor Powell off to Duke Williams. Oh, and a nice move by Williams as he gets a first down up near the 35. Ticats.
Oh my goodness, gave it to him and take it away. Hurt himself when he landed. Here we go. Give it to him, Duke. Bam! Ooh-wee. This middle linebacker just juked right there. These guys are supposed to be able to tackle. You know that Jones can too. He made that look easy. Mechie going in there low. Getting his Sanchez on.
6 catches, 65 yards. Duke Williams on the first down and out to McAllister, and Adarius Pickett is having none of that.
Get on him early.
Like the idea of getting him in space, but didn't have much space to work with after catching that, and there's lost yardage there.
Yeah, you got to get on him early, and Toronto knew it, played with a sense of urgency right there. McAllister's lined up in a little bunch formation, gets blockers out in front. 2 Toronto Argonauts go with him, and Pickett just bends off his blocker and takes McAllister down like it's just another day in the office, making that look easy on a guy that is extremely tough to tackle.
At the Hamilton 32 and a 2nd and 12 now after that loss of a couple of yards for Powell. And another breakdown in the pocket. A flag comes out. Jared Brinkman coming in. And the Argos pressure has been relentless. What do they have here?
Brinkman's having a day. I think it could be a horse collar.
Against Toronto, the signal from Powell that this drive will continue.
Brinkman right here, and he's having a day. Boy, he's just, oh yeah.
Major foul, face mask. Number 91. It's a 15-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down for Hamilton.
Yeah, I don't think he did this intentionally, but he grabs it and he doesn't let go. So he's that one's gonna smart. Yeah, you don't do that intentionally because you're off the field. He wants to get off the field, believe me. He's had a heck of a game.
He has. Cost him 15 there though, and
teammates got to pick him up.
Yeah, the Argo defense staying on the field. So for Taylor Powell, it continues up at the 47 and straight up the middle. And that's Tyreek McAllister. He gets across midfield.
There you go.
And we saw other times getting him the ball out on screens or outside, seeing if they could get him in open space. And this time it's just a straight running play.
Yeah, and it looks like he went double tights there and tried to give him that illusion, flatten out the defense. So they don't have second level defenders. They got to walk down and close up on the extra offensive lineman, and they gashed him in the middle with McAllister.
And he gets 10 yards. He gets a first down. Tyreek McAllister. And they're in the Argo zone. Across midfield. Powell completes that one. Little room by Godwin. Breaking free after the catch. Down inside the 40 for Terry Godwin.
And that's amazing, Rod. Face mask and penalty extends the drive. And, you know, a couple of a nice run, a play that developed like you practice it, and Powell reads it very nicely, stands in there and delivers a nice ball. Godwin makes a nice move, gets another 10. Got a nice little drive going here, aided by the Toronto Argonauts.
The jersey grab there. Looks like it's all going to unwind on Godwin as gets the first down to the Toronto 39. Taylor Powell with this offense on the move, down 17. And there's Tim White with the ball. Left side, and stays on his feet just to get back just across the original line of scrimmage and picks up a yard or 2 for the Ticats.
Yeah, it's just impressive movement again by the defensive line of Toronto. Barlow. And it looked like Deontay Knight just figuring it out. Watch him sliding over here. They're going to slide, redirect, get there. That's just want to and desire going to the football. That was Hendricks in there as well, 99.
Okay, from the Toronto 37, now in a 2nd and long for Powell. 4 receivers out to the left. He looks right, and he goes to the right, and that is complete to Butler. He cuts it back. gets inside the 30. James Butler, and looks like another first down for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Oh, yeah, that's. I think the young quarterback's figuring it out. You know, he says, hey, I get the ball to McAllister. Let me see. Butler in space, and this is what they do for me? Oh, yeah. He's out there beautifully placed. Butler's like, yeah, first down.
Down to the 28. Impressive drive brewing here, penalty aided for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Blitz coming, gets rid of it, and down it falls into the end zone with no Ticat receiver in sight.
He read it. He just wasn't on the same page, and I think Godwin busted there. He's got to see that, you know. He got to go, baby. Quarterback knew it. And they come right up the edge, got unblocked. Barlow's there. One-on-one, we're going over. Press coverage, go, baby, go. You can't set it down there. He's got people in his face. He has no idea where you're going to be. That's a go. Inside release, outside release. You just got to get there. He's going to spot it out there, let you go get it.
2nd and 10 from the right hash for Hamilton at the Argo 28. Passing again. It is complete to Keandre Smith. And it is shy of a first down. It's inside the 25. We have a 3rd down coming up here for the Ticats, down by 17 points.
Yeah, you got to figure they're going to go for this because you're not going to win with threes. Although Leggio's a sure deal, threes aren't going to help you here. Catch up.
We saw the Ottawa Redblacks in a similar situation in the second half against Winnipeg last week. They were down by as many as 19, and there were a couple of occasions they got to the red zone, went for it on 3rd and goal, actually, and didn't cash in. Ultimately, they loved the way that story ended. Wouldn't the Ticats love that? Down a bunch still, though. Some pressure coming, and off to Butler inside the 20. So they went for it on the 3rd down, and it pays off. Into the red zone they go, and a 1st and goal for James Butler and the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, he's figured it out. You know, I've got these playmakers. They're out here, and they're just not running backs. They're receivers as well, and he's got this big field. Let's get it to him in space. Just give it to him. This is money. Eyes downfield, hold the backers as long as possible. Let him do his magic. It's exactly what Butler does.
1st and goal from the 6. Taylor Powell. This is as deep as they've gone. Here's Butler again, spinning, and he is taken down after about 3 more yards. Gets a little bit closer to the end zone, and that is quarter time, and a flag is out. A flag is out in the Argo end zone.
Hamilton smelling it right here. Can taste the goal line.
Remember, the quarter can end on a penalty. Ben Major, the referee.
After the play, we have a misconduct. Hamilton, number 57. This is a 15-yard penalty that's going to be applied on the first play of the 4th quarter, and it's going to be 2nd down for Hamilton.
What a costly penalty for Brendan Revenberg and that Tiger Cat offense, as they were so close, pushed back 15 yards and needing to find the end zone down 17 points. They trade field goals through 3, and it's the Argos still leading it 23-6. Through 3 quarters, it's still a 17-point Argo lead, although, Maddie, Hamilton having its best drive of the ball game up until that last play at the 2.5-yard line, taking a 15-yard penalty to push him back.
Yeah, Brandon Riverberg, you know, you can understand it. You know, tempers were running hot, but boy, that one hurts. I really feel like Taylor Powell settled down here in the 3rd quarter and figured out he's got some playmakers. Tommy Condell giving him an opportunity to get the ball in McAllister's hand a little bit more offensively, and certainly James Butler being utilized not so much in the run game, but in the pass game. That's really settled this offense into a nice little rhythm here for the quarterback, and it's fun to watch this young kid figure it out on the fly, and didn't get much help from the veteran left guard Revenberg backing him up here. 2nd and about 17 and a half and goal.
Yeah, that was goal to go before, so 15 back, and it's at the 17.5-yard line. 2nd and goal, Hamilton. Had thoughts of a touchdown, a little bit tougher to get now. A look, an open receiver.
and squeezing that window. Ball's thrown on timing. Very nice. Oh, my goodness. Tight window there. Duke Williams couldn't get it. Stigger says, nah, ain't happening. Beautiful play. Give it to him and swat it away.
Just back in time, Quantez Stiggers.
That's an amazing story. Guys played limited football, didn't play in college. John Jenkins recommended him to the club.
John Jenkins was here tonight.
He was.
A coach of yours.
That's correct. And there's Mark Leggio doing his thing.
Well, Vernon Adams, Mason Fine, the new starting quarterback with the injury to Trevor Harris. And that is tomorrow, CFL on TSN from BC Place, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Lucky Whitehead and company. And
seems like we hadn't seen BC play forever.
They coming off the bye. It's been a while.
It's an exciting football team. You take them out of the mix, and they're missed, right?
And they do have that victory over the Bombers, chasing Winnipeg for top spot in the West. And unfortunately, the injury to Trevor Harris last week. Mason Fine, he's had a start before. He'll start again for Saskatchewan. A.J. Ouellette, ball carrier, right around the 40 for the Argos.
Yeah, this is, Hamilton can feel it, the momentum. They got some momentum here. In the fourth quarter, the backs are against the wall. Threes aren't helping them. Watch them go to the football here. Everybody going hard. Get there. And they do. They all arrive about the same time. That's beautiful football right there.
So that Leggio field goal got them a little bit closer again, down to a 14-point difference for Chad Kelly and the Argos. Still in command. Gets rid of it, and it's incomplete, intended for Daniels.
2 and out. That's exactly what you needed.
The boundary half in the coverage of Daniels there. So yes, a 2 and out. And you're right. This is what the Ticats need if they can get any momentum going in the fourth quarter. They'll get the ball back now.
And John Haggerty, big leg. He's going to try to pin Hamilton back. He can let one go here.
His last one went 60 yards.
Yeah, and had a boatload of hang time. McAllister's back there frothing at the mouth, feeling the moment. We know that Ryan Bull's special teams, so they can get some separation on this coverage unit, might have a chance. Well, that's positioned beautifully on the sideline.
Take it to the side of the 15, McAllister. And broke a couple of tackles, a flag coming out as he gets up near the 30. So the last time they had the ball, they got down and they got a field goal. Down 14 points, fourth quarter in Hamilton.
Time for your Coors Light moment of chill. And the Argos social media team has been doing great work. So let me introduce you this week to a video they posted of Aiko Memphis McManus. That is the son of Witten McManus. And I know, Maddie, up in the booth, we were talking about the energy that Witten brings. Well, what the boy got, he got from his daddy. They call him great business in the Argos locker room. And you can see all that energy in daddy. And maybe Aiko Memphis McManus is great business too. And when I asked Witten about it, he goes, absolutely, that's my boy, guys.
And Matthew, no offense to Witten, but Aiko Memphis steals the show there, doesn't he? Getting rid of it is Powell, and coming back to the ball for the catch is Terry Godwin. Powell made something there as the pocket was closing up. Steps up and gets a big completion here. First down, Ticats.
Well, I had a coach my last year in Edmonton, Joe Ferragelli. Joe would always say, spot the ball, spot the ball. This is spotting the football, throwing it to a spot where your receiver can get it and nobody else can. McManus just eyeballing him, saying, come on out here, come on out here. And he opened. No way Taylor Powell is biting on that. He found Godwin.
Good job, Godwin, coming back to the football, taking to Butler. And then it's off for his fullback who had fallen down. Felix Garand-Gauthier really didn't have a chance at it. He'd already slipped and fallen with the ball coming in.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in this play. Falarin Ramalade kind of threw him down. Lost his balance, and Witten's got great business waiting on him, flying to the football, looking to make another tackle. Is he chewing a toothpick right now? Because
I think it's only the sidelines, right?
I don't know, man.
Takes it out during the game. Powell. Another player in his face, and Keonre Smith slaps his hands down on the field turf. Couldn't hang on to that one. Would have been well shy of a first down.
Yeah, it's an important 20-yard completion there on the sidelines to Godwin. But this guy right here, he's making it happen for the.
You see him working that toothpick there.
Yeah, you can see it.
Little publicity shot.
I played with a guy, Keith Woodside. He played with a toothpick. Running back played with a toothpick.
A running back playing with a toothpick in his mouth. Oh, Javon Leake in the high hurdle on Tunde Adeleke. Javon Leake. How about this, Matty?
Yeah. Adeleke goes underneath. Leake goes over the top.
Can you imagine if Leake had a toothpick in his mouth on that?
Oh, man.
That'd be painful.
No, but, I mean, I asked Wynton about it. I said, where'd you get that toothpick thing from? And he says his Uncle Elton always uses a toothpick. And he went with it and feels comfortable with it and rarely out of his mouth. Rarely is Wynton McManus ever not in close to the football. Man. Ball player. They knew he had his hands full with James Butler tonight, and so far they've done a pretty nice job with him in the run game. Passing game, maybe a little bit of a different story, but he knew what a big task they had to try to shut him down. So far, so good.
Says he's looking forward to going to Halifax, heading back to Nova Scotia for touchdown Atlantic next week.
Too many men on the field. It's a 10-yard penalty. Makes it a first down for Hamilton.
Oh, man.
Too many. What a costly play by the Argos there, and the most penalized team in terms of number of penalties coming into this game, and frustration for Ryan Dinwiddie is Hamilton's offense back on.
They just didn't get off the field quick enough, right? You see a bunch of guys there, and they're just kind of lollygagging right there. That's just a hustle.
Well, it was in late in the third quarter. A penalty extended a Hamilton drive. They went all the way down, nearly found the end zone. A penalty pushed them back, and they got a field goal, but they do have the ball. And lots of time on the clock, down by 14 for Powell. Robbie Smith was coming, but he gets it away, and it is caught by Godwin, who gets up, not being touched, right around the first down marker. The whistle had gone.
Yeah, just briefly going back to that penalty that extends this drive. Mickey Donovan, special teams coordinator for Toronto, he wasn't happy. Ryan Dinwiddie screaming at the officials saying that they had to go all the way from over there, and they can't go through the other team's area on the sidelines, or else they'll get penalized. So they had a long way to go. I understand Ryan Dinwiddie's, Mickey Donovan's argument.
4 receivers out to the right, off the left hash, and a first down for Taylor Powell. And he completes that one, and his receiver is met instantly by Adarius Pickett. That is Richie Sindani, the receiver, and a gain of about 5 more yards for the Ticats.
Yeah, you know, it's just easy pitch and catch. Number 3 receiver right here, just going to go up there and sit down. Put it to him with timing. Boom, sit it down. Oftentimes you can throw him open, throw it to the side you want him to turn to, and that time was on his back shoulder where the defender was. He'll learn that.
They're across midfield. Oh, and the defender fell. Jamal Peters in front of Tim White, but the ball wasn't there, falling incomplete, and a third down is coming up.
Yeah, this is fortunate. Jamal Peters slipped because he's back here. He's going to settle right here. Number 2 receiver is going to go over to the little skinny corner. Jamal's going to fall off on this, and he sees it, and he's got an easy pick. He slips down. Got away with one.
Peters had a pick in the first half. He thought he had for a touchdown. A penalty negated that, but he did get the interception, his first of the season. And so the Ticats have to punt it away. They do hem the Argos deep, but Toronto's still in charge. Fourth quarter, up 14. Well into the fourth quarter now, and the Argos have the ball deep in their own zone, and more pressure on that Ticats defense to force a 2-and-out. Down a couple of touchdowns. Chad Kelly and the Argos had an explosive first half, putting 20 on the board. Flags out, and quickly to Curly Gittins. Richard Leonard trying to argue it's not a catch. Gittins says it is. We got a penalty here too. A couple of flags down.
Unloaded on us there. Only 6 officials down there still. Doing a good job keeping this game tightly managed.
Ben Major and his crew, and a discussion going on here back at the 15.
Hamilton had too many players on the last play.
Oh.
It's a 10-yard penalty. It's a first down for Toronto.
So we saw that extended drive after the Argos took it too many, and now it's the Ticats' turn.
Argonauts not as exasperated as Coach Dinwiddie was.
But it makes it a first down. Argos up at their 19 now.
Easy 10. Get them backed out of their own end.
Under 10 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Faking the handoff off to Cam Phillips across the 20. And he gets up around the 24. Whistles blow as he lost the ball as he was down. Argo football, and second down coming up.
You talk to people about Cam Phillips, and he really hasn't gotten off like they expect, but he works so hard, does a lot of dirty things, a lot of stuff you don't see typically if you're not watching him straight up. And here he gets help from Curly Gittens on the block, and that's usually Cam working hard. Unger working hard there. It's team effort surely on those pass plays, and Cam was the beneficiary there.
Captain Jonas on the tackle for the Ticats. A 2nd and 5. Keller right side, and it's for Coxie, and Lawrence Woods on the coverage, but it falls incomplete. And so Ticats 8:48 on the clock, and they will get the ball back with the Argos punting unit coming on.
Yeah. I don't know if Coxie, I think that ball got on him a little quicker than he thought, and he didn't get up in time. They'll figure it out. They're still young. Time together. What? A couple months, 2.5 months together. They'll be all right.
John Haggerty.
It's a big drive for Hamilton coming up here. They put 7 points on the board here. We got a ball game.
It's McAllister letting it bounce, taking it at the Hamilton 30. And he finds some room around the left side, around the 45. So back comes Taylor Powell, his first CFL start. His Ticats trailing by 14 here in the fourth quarter. Taylor Powell had been number 3 at the start of the season on the QB depth chart, but quickly moved up because of some injuries.
Yeah, I'm just watching him jog out here, and he's
seems a little gingerly.
Walk, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to work it out here, and he's figuring out that it's 3-down football. Not for the lighthearted, something that guy's already figured out.
Bo Levi Mitchell in his first year with the Ticats got injured in Toronto in week 2, and then Matthew Schultz got hurt last week.
He don't want to get close to the field right now.
Yeah, he's on the 6, hip injury. So now to the 3rd stringer, getting his first CFL start in Powell.
Look at that.
To the right, wide open, first down, Keandre Smith in Argo territory at the 50.
Yeah, it's a nice throw. Spotted out there. Beautiful throw on time. Just throw it out in the open space. Trust your receiver. Number 1 receiver to sit down there. Unger, sit down. There it is. Ball's coming. Yes, sir. Oh, that's Smith. Nice job. And then the reaction by the quarterback, just walking down the field like we do that all day. It's like Skelly, 7-on-7.
Throwing again. Has time. Has an open receiver, a little bit low. But it is caught by Terry Godwin at about the 36. And another first down. Hamilton on the move again.
Yeah, and whether it's Smith on that 1st and 10 play or this one right here, it's a tough catch. Again, quarterback throwing in rhythm and timing. The receiver picked him up on that one.
Powell is 24 of 36, 2/3, 256. And that one, Robbie Smith coming in and getting in the face of Powell, knocking that away.
Yeah, doing his best impersonation of number 5 from Winnipeg. Just, oh yeah. I mean, these quarterbacks are all playing from the gun. That happened all the time when you're underneath the center. Second and 10, big play right here. Can't afford to just take another 3.
The Argo 36. With time and stepping up. Haven't seen him run much, but he does there. As he's sliding down and winning.
He's asking for it.
And Powell asking for the penalty.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen him do this, and Witten goes high. Powell's begging for the late hit. And I agree with him. You can't touch quarterbacks in today's game right there, particularly when they're sliding. Now, he was slid late, but, boy, he gets a lot of head there, and to me, that is...
Major foul.
There it is.
Roughing the passer. Toronto 48.
Yeah, command center.
Half the distance, from the other play. Automatic first down for Hamilton.
That's the beauty, Rod, of the command center being able to step in and get the call right on the field, and we just saw that right there. And a guy that knows all too well about that. We got an 18-year vet here, Kevin Glenn, is up in the booth. Who knows all too familiar what that feels like and what Taylor Powell's going through. Kevin, how you doing, man?
Kevin Glenn came to visit us here too. Former Ticat honored tonight with his family. Played for the Cats 2009 to.
We're trying to get him a headset here real quick and see if we can't hook him up. Get him a call, couple plays.
Man, it was the distinction of being a member of every single team in the Canadian Football League, Kevin Glenn. Well, here come the Ticats. Inside the 15, Powell. Flag out late as he gets rid of it, out of bounds. Yeah, that got them close again, that penalty, and the roughness on Powell in the previous play.
Holding Hamilton, number 62. It's a 10-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
With the hold, pushing it back to the Argo 24 and a 1st and 20.
And we've seen this quite a few times throughout the night. These penalties really putting them in some tough situations, ones that they could have converted, but they're lucky here, still first down.
So Powell with a 4-man rush quickly gets it away to Godwin. He gets it down inside the 15.
He picked up about 12 there, Rod. This is a manageable 2nd and 8 here. I like what I see from this kid. Obviously, Toronto's playing a little softer now, but this kid's taking full advantage of it and taking what they give him, and he's putting his team in a good situation here. This is 3-down territory for sure. Kevin Powell settling in nicely here in the 4th quarter.
Down to the 13. 2nd and 9. Needing the end zone, down 2 touchdowns. Powell under pressure, gets away again and takes off again. Look at this! Inside the 5! Touchdown! Ticats! Proud parents, Elizabeth and Mark Powell, and celebrating the first touchdown scored by Taylor Powell in his first CFL start. Threw a touchdown pass in his first throw last week, his appearance in Edmonton.
All right, just the seas parted right here, and he sees it, and he's on his horse early. He's high-stepping it. Well, I see some speed there, some abilities. Do that more often. He'll figure it out. Taylor Powell on that drive, he certainly had it figured out there. Confident drive. Got his team right back in this.
7 plays, 65 yards. 23-15, an 8-point difference. This could make it 7. Mark Leggio. He missed that one left, but it is still a 1-score game. Still a 1-score game despite the miss. 23-15, 4:41.
Yeah, this is a nice play, heads-up play. Everybody's washed and flushed around him. Well, that's got to be a wonderful feeling. And he's on it. He's pointing fingers. That's what he does. He directs traffic. Looking like a veteran out there. And his parents, they haven't seen this too often from his son, but they know he's got it in him. Get in there. Get in there.
They're feeling better about things here at Tim Hortons Field. Not just the Powells, the fans too. Need I remind you, or flashback just a week ago, and one of the unlikeliest of comebacks, and that was under 3 minutes when Ottawa was down 16, got a pick six, and found a way to drive. Defense held strong, and then it was Dustin Crum, known for his running. Taylor Powell, not as much for his running as Crum, but he got a big rush for a touchdown there. We got a game, 23-15, 4:41 in the clock, Javon Lee. And he has hit a ton there. Kyle Wilson coming in on special teams to make sure Leak goes no further.
Back up middle linebacker saying, I'm going to give me some. Yeah. It's like he just robbed something. Robbed him the big return. Von Leak getting erased.
So it's up at the Toronto 37. A big stand needed for the Ticat defense, which has been stronger in this second half. Faking to Ouellette.
Got it.
Deep ball wide open. Tavares Daniels had to wait for it, but he has it inside the Hamilton 40.
Yeah, this is a double move here. Kind of get him biting on things, thinking interception. Give it to him, take it away.
And a gain of 35 yards, Kelly to Daniels. Here we go. Ouellette breaks it back right. Big carry for big A.J. Ouellette. On the ground and inside the Hamilton 20.
Liver King just chewing up yards right there. 2 plays, and Toronto's knocking on another look at the Tavares Daniels catch. Got his hand on his big mitts, got him underneath there. Had to do everything, twist and contort, and well, that's a heck of a catch. Big play. 2 of them in a row for the Toronto Argonauts, answering Hamilton Tiger Cats score.
And just to be sure, the Argos hustled up to the ball, gave it to Ouellette. Big carry down to the 13, Hamilton. Toronto trying to answer right back after that Ticat touchdown by Powell. Whistle blows with the snap of the football.
Timeout.
Timeout was called before the snap, by Hamilton.
So a timeout called by the Ticats as we get down near the 3-minute warning.
Yeah, you know, you can't take 2 into the last 3 minutes, so.
Please put the game clock back to 3:09, please. 3:09.
And I really feel like that was good. Good timeout there by Orlando Steinauer's teams on their heels. A couple big plays in a row. Let's talk about it. Let's tighten up here. Ryan Dinwiddie likes what he sees in a response drive from his offense. Critical juncture here, last 3 minutes. You know what it's about, folks. Hang on.
Maybe the last play before the warning. Ouellette pounding it down near the 10 on that first down play. The clock winds down to 3 minutes. It's a closer game, though. An 8-point Argo lead only now. 1 score thanks to this. Taylor Powell, first CFL start, first CFL touchdown rushing with his proud parents looking on here at Tim Hortons Field. Not over yet. It's been a beautiful night here at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton, the home side. In a spot of trouble right now after cutting it to a 1-score lead because the Argos have their best drive of the second half. In the previous 4 drives in the second half, 68 yards. This one alone, 63. Aided big time by a long pass to Tavares Daniels and a big run by A.J. Ouellette. So Chad Kelly and the Argos under 3 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Got to make it a 2-score game again as Kelly calls his number. He steps up and he gets close down inside the 2.
I mean, it's enticing. Oh, they got a first down there.
They do. This will be 1st and goal coming up for Toronto by the looks of things. That yard marker's about the 3.
Yeah, it looks like he knew exactly where he needed to go, and he makes a move right here and puts his head down and takes the hit. He looks like he gets down to about the 2-yard line. Maybe the 1.5. That's first down.
It is. And
that's called all the way. We had heard earlier in the week that Ryan Dinwiddie, based on what he's seen with the quarterbacks going down in the all around the league on a regular basis, he wasn't going to run those plays with Chad Kelly, and he's feeling it right there.
Yeah, so Kelly is at Cameron Dukes, who scored a touchdown in the first half, his first touchdown.
Reach and ride, ball security right here.
From the one, no, not quite. So it'll be 2nd and goal coming up, and now we got this. Again, we've seen this lead to penalties before. Little shot afterwards.
A few shots, just a continuation to jabs there. And here comes Kelly.
Chad Kelly substituting back in.
I mean, you look across the league, you got some big quarterbacks in this league. One that comes to mind, Tommy Stevens. Hamilton just picked one, and Antonio Pipkin, he picked him up.
Timer, please put 2:25 on the game clock. 2 minutes 25 on the game clock, please.
We've had a couple of seconds on that clock.
Yeah, and you know, those guys in these situations really make a difference when you've got some weight behind you and some strength. Chad Kelly, a big, strong kid. Got him in there to maybe push a little harder.
So down at the 1 and a 2nd and goal, and Kelly's back in. He has 4 rushing touchdowns this young season. And he's looking for number 5, Kelly. Punches it over. And a Toronto touchdown. As he looks to celebrate with the big guys.
What are they going to do here? They got something
cooked up.
Yeah, they do.
Everybody wants to eat.
Drink it. Drink it. Oh, man.
They've been eating.
Wow. Well, that's what it's about. Winning, having fun, doing it together. Big boys churning it out. Response drive.
Feast on some touchdowns.
Yeah, that's impressive right there.
Chad Kelly, 5 rushing touchdowns. In this, the 5th game of the season for the Argos, looking to improve to 5-0 as Beatty gets the extra point. And it is now a 15-point lead for Toronto with 2:03 on the clock. Time definitely running out in the Ticats in this one. The biggest play of this drive that wrapped up in a touchdown on this toss by Chad Kelly to DeVaris Daniels.
You have somebody in his face, a little double move. DeVaris Daniels baited Woods, and Woods bit on it and made a nice circus catch. And then AJ doing his thing in a big run, and offensive line getting him in the end zone. A little celebration, eating into drinking, drinking into eating.
Well, Daniels had 10 catches for 190 on the season coming in, and this night is 4 catches for 80 and a touchdown earlier. So averaging 20 yards a reception tonight for the CFL Rookie of the Year with Calgary back in 2016. Enjoying his time in double blue as well. Beatty's to kick off.
Yeah.
Nicky, watch the white.
Big kick down to the goal line for McAllister. Up across the 30, up across the 40, and Beatty once again saw that in the first half where it was like the last one to make a play and pushing McAllister out after a good return and a good kickoff too. But 1:55 to go and getting pretty academic now for the Ticats offense and Taylor Powell.
Beatty getting him forced out of bounds there. He's a big body himself, 6'4", about 240. That guy can pound the football, and we kicked that one to the goal line. 80 yards in the air.
25 of 38 for 262. No touchdowns thrown, an interception, but a touchdown on the ground for Taylor Powell, and this is first CFL start. From the Hamilton 43, they've got him again. He just ran at a time as he moved to his right. Dwayne Hendricks involved there. Jonathan Jones, a middle linebacker, coming in, making the play, and a loss of 4 yards, 2nd and long, coming up for the Ticats.
Yeah, these are moments you live for defensively. Up a couple of scores, not a lot of time on the clock. You know what the offense has got to do, pin your ears back and go get some stats.
More pressure coming. No let up at all as he does complete that. DeAndre Smith fighting his way up to the 50 to get a little bit closer with a 3rd down gamble, I am sure, coming up now. Just 1:23 on the clock, and they need 2 touchdowns. So yeah, 3-down ball right now.
Love the effort by Smith.
Trying to get them just a little bit closer, and they need 3 yards now to extend this drive.
Never know. With the way the special team's been working for Reinbold, you get a big play. Got to move the chains here, get a big play. Go onside, you never know.
Gets knocked at the line, and it's dropped. Godwin had a shot at it, but that could be it. 1:07 on the clock, and barring a miracle, I don't think you're going to see what we saw in Ottawa last week as the offense heads off. They turn it over on downs.
Yeah, who tips this? The ball's definitely tipped. Oh, yeah, that was Hendricks, 99.
99, Dwayne Hendricks. Redirecting it, intended there for Godwin. Frustration there as the Argos are on the verge of improving to 5-0, and the Ticats, it would appear, are going to be falling to 2-4. And what a start for the Toronto Argonauts.
And I think what a start for that young man's career. I really think, looking at Hendricks, looking at Kelly there, but I'm talking about Taylor Powell. Taylor Powell hold his head high.
Andrew Harris sit inside the Hamilton 50 as they're just going to grind it out now. 1:02 on the clock.
Yeah, I just think that there's 2 young quarterbacks here. Tyler Powell showing looked like he's got some skill set that he can work with, and Tommy Condell likes what he sees in this young man. He says he's coachable. He asks a lot of questions. He's not too big. You know, he just wants to come here and learn. He's humble, God-fearing man, and he just likes to play the game. Go home and forget about it.
Well, the Ticats are going to go on the road to Ottawa next week. The Red Blacks on Sunday are playing in Calgary. Interesting Eastern showdown there. And it's Jonathan Kongbo at first, and now Casey Sales in on Andrew Harris. So projecting the victory for the Argos and the loss for the Ticats. The East standings see the Argos open up the gap. There we go, 5-0. First time in over 60 years, by the way, that they have started that way. And Montreal and Ottawa 2-3. The Alouettes do not play this week. As mentioned, the Red Blacks in Calgary and the Ticats in Ottawa next week. And the Argos, John Haggerty back to punt this away with very little time to go. 22 seconds, and just lightly punts that down, and it gets a roll.
Well, these 2 teams will see each other 2 more times this season.
Yeah.
And,
well, but next week, though, Matty, and we'll be there in Halifax.
Yes, sir.
Husky Stadium, home of the St. Mary's Huskies, and Touchdown Atlantic. And once again, it's the Saskatchewan Roughriders against the Toronto Argonauts. Wynn McManus had a late pick in that game in Wolfville at Acadia
nice
that sealed the deal for the Argos last year against the Riders. But for Ryan Dinwiddie's team, they'll be looking to improve to 6-0 in that game. Touchdown Atlantic. Can't wait to head to the Maritimes. It's such a great experience.
Mason Fine taking over for Trevor Harris, and he's got some experience now. Expect him to command that offense.
He's getting the start tomorrow for Saskatchewan at BC Place. So Taylor Powell and finishing touches on his first experience as a starter in the CFL, and didn't get the win that he wanted. He did get a touchdown, and as you say, some valuable experience as a starting quarterback.
I think so. I think he acquitted himself really well, and I think he's figured out that he can use his legs here and get down and live to play another play. And I was impressed with the young man.
It was 40 years ago in 1983 that the Argos started at 4-0. first time since. Godwin taken down, zeros on the clock, and now for the first time since 1960, over 60 years ago, the Double Blue have started a season at 5-0.
You know, Rod, I think that this is a ball game that Toronto was expected to win. A lot of people said that, and I thought that Hamilton needed to get some turnovers, create other ways other than offensively, and but they weren't able to do that. I thought they slowed down Toronto in the second half and gave their team a chance. Special teams tried to make it happen with onside pooch punts and mixing it up, and Leggio had another good night. I just felt like this guy right here continues to shine, and Chad Kelly showing you that he belongs, and right now he's front runner for most outstanding player in the league, much like Nathan Rourke took the league by storm last year.
Yeah, Kelly finishes up at 20 for 27, goes over 300 yards for the second straight week, 306, 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, and another victory. So that's 5 straight victories for Chad Kelly to start the season.
Kevin.
It's Kevin Glenn, honored by the Ticats, but the night here in Hamilton belongs to the Toronto Argonauts as the week will continue tomorrow at BC Place with the Riders and the Lions. Argos, they beat the Ticats again. Thanks for watching Friday Night Football on TSN. Good night, everybody.